What's up, foodies? JD, and I'm back with another one. And already before I start this video, today things have not gone my way. I went to Arby's because I wanted to do a video on this brand new venison elk burger, I think it's called. Because, hey, it sounds interesting. Venison elk, I've never had that before. And finding it, if you don't live in like Colorado or something, seems like it'd be hard to get. So I had to jump on the opportunity while I could. I placed an order on the app, and then when I get to the restaurant, the guy at the window tells me, hey, sorry, we're sold out. And I said, sold out for today? Or he's like, no, we're done selling it. Like, it's gone. I was really upset because I wanted to make a video on it. So the guy said, why don't you come inside and we'll give you 2 sandwiches to make up for it. They were nice enough to do that for me. I ended up picking the smokehouse brisket. While it's not new, it's something I had never had, so I will do a review on that. However, I also bought 2 more items that are gonna be something that is limited time. Let's go over them. The first one I got, ooh, these are Arby's brand new. They are called Arby's Hush Puppy breaded fish sticks or fish nuggets. I don't know, but they do look like the breading of a hush puppy. If you guys have never had a hush puppy, they're essentially just like these deep fried things. You find them a lot in southern restaurants. I don't even know what they are, I'll be honest, but all I know is that they're really good. And to be honest, these look pretty good too. Now, they're not as crispy. I'm gonna put up to the camera. Tell me if you hear this. If you didn't hear anything, that means it's not crispy. And to be honest, it doesn't feel crispy. Who knows how long they've been sitting for. Now, I did bring these home, so maybe they lost their crispiness on the way home. And in addition, they give you a side of tartar sauce. So before I open up that tartar sauce, let's just see how one tastes just on its own. I'll admit, when I ordered these, I was a little worried because Arby's kind of has a reputation amongst people not being the greatest. And to order fish at Arby's was like a double, whoop, back up. But I gotta say, these are not bad. Now, according to the website, they use pollock, which is kind of like in the same white fish category as a cod, because typically with fish and chips, I think the most famous fish you would use is like cod, but a lot of places use pollock, maybe haddock because it's a little bit cheaper. And I don't blame a fast food restaurant for going cheap. Now, with that being said, the breading, although it's not crispy, actually has a really good flavor. It does have a little bit of a reminiscent taste of a hush puppy, where a hush puppy is kind of like doughy, if that makes sense. I don't know, but it's thin actually. The breading is actually very thin. Let me give it one more bite, but this time I'm gonna try with the tartar sauce. And this tartar sauce is interesting. It's not like white. It's got like a little yellowish tint to it. I'm gonna try it just, ooh, is that too much? Oh, here goes nothing. Actually the tartar sauce makes it even better, because the tartar sauce has a little bit of sweetness to it, which actually helps, because, this is fried, it's fatty, and the sweetness kind of cuts the fat a little bit. You don't taste that oiliness in your mouth with this. I mean, it's still fried, it's not the healthiest. And to be fair, this tartar sauce is mayo-based, so it's not healthy either. But at least you don't have to feel like it's unhealthy, because the oiliness gets cut down by the tartar sauce. So just to let you guys know, if you are interested in trying these, they come in a 3 and a 5 piece. And to be honest, they're not bad. They're not bad at all. You would think that Arby's fish would be at the bottom of someone's totem pole, but I'll be honest, I would try them again. But if I do try them again, I would make sure I'd eat it there, because I feel like it got a little bit less crunchy because I brought it home with me. So that commute from the restaurant to home probably made it lose its crispiness, and that probably what made it taste a lot better. But if we're just going based off flavor, I can picture how crispy would feel in my head, but flavor, spot on. It's actually not bad. I've had much worse, trust me. The next new item. It is a bacon ranch cheesesteak. Now, cheesesteaks in general are new to Arby's. They have a regular cheesesteak if you're a purist and you just want meat, cheese, and onions, and I guess peppers in this case. But here, they took it a step further and added delicious creamy ranch and oh, salty, so delicious, amazing bacon. And yes, I know that's not a traditional cheesesteak, but how can bacon and ranch make a cheesesteak bad? Unless you're allergic or you have a cultural or dietary reason not to eat it, this should, on paper, be really good. Now, obviously, the bread, the meat, the cheese, all that quality is going to change whether or not the cheesesteak is good. But if the base cheesesteak is good, the addition of ranch and bacon will only make it better. I hope. And we're going to test that theory by giving it a bite. Now, one thing I don't like right off the bat, it's not cut. Look, no split. So if you've ever had a sandwich like this, where's all the meat? It's typically right in the middle, and the smallest amount of meat are usually at the ends. So I'm going to be eating from the end, and it's going to be the most amount of meat. Now, I could be a savage and just but I won't do that because I know that would trigger a lot of you guys. So I'm just going to go from the end, and we're just going to see how it tastes, and I'll take another bite in the middle. I could also split it. Now, let's just do it the way they presented. The way they presented it to me, uncut, right from the end. Here we go. Wow. That was really cheesy. That first bite, it tastes like taking me a minute to chew it because of how much cheese I ate. Now, I looked at the ingredient list because I wasn't sure what kind of cheese, but I had a feeling it was American, and I was right, it's white American cheese. But when I looked at the ingredients, one thing that caught my eye was it wasn't just ranch. They're stating it is a Parmesan peppercorn ranch. Now, I'll be honest, that first bite, I didn't really get much of a ranch flavor. I'm wondering it's because it's the end piece. Maybe there's less dressing on that side, so I'll have to give it another try. But again, just like the fish, it's kind of suffering a little bit from the delivery going from the restaurant back home because the cheese has kind of solidified a little bit. And the sandwich isn't like piping hot. I'm sure it would be better, but we're talking about flavor, and the flavor's okay. To be honest, not the biggest fan of the bread. I like a little bit of chew in my bread. This bread is really it almost feels glutinous. It's so chewy in terms of like doughy, if that makes sense. I like a little crunch. Also, the meat ratio to the rest of it just doesn't seem like a lot. Now, there is a nice piece of bacon in there, which I did taste. I wish they put a little bit more meat in there because a real Philly cheesesteak is loaded. Seriously, where's the meat? That's literally cheese. Where's the meat? Arby, where's the meat? I don't see any. Can you help me find it, please? Let's try this again. I'm closer to the middle this time, so I'm gonna try a nice big bite here. Let's go. Wow, okay. So I said my first bite was really cheesy. That second bite was even more cheesy. I'm just convinced They really put a lot of cheese in there. And hey, listen, I know it's a cheesesteak, but the cheese is dominating the whole sandwich. It's like when you put peanut butter in a horse's mouth and they're doing this where they're like, that's what I feel like when I'm eating this cheesesteak. Now, don't get me wrong, I love white American cheese and all cheeses really. When it comes to cheesesteaks though, I am a huge fan. Number one cheese for me in a cheesesteak is provolone. I'm not going to deduct points and say that this makes it bad, but maybe not as much American cheese. I know a lot of you cheese lovers out there might say that's crazy to say, but trust me, with this little amount of meat, it's way too much cheese. Now, if they put more meat, then I think the cheese would be fine. But your cheese to meat ratio right now is way off. It feels like mostly cheese, some meat, and then you got those peppers in there randomly. In fact, the cheese is so dominant. I ate literally like a quarter of the sandwich in one bite. I could barely taste any ranch. This is a cheese sandwich with some steak. Not my favorite. Don't think I'd order it again. Now, it is limited time, so once it's off the menu, Arby's, I think you should keep it off. Or if you want to bring it back, revise your ratios, change the cheese, do provolone, it's so good. Add more meat, change the bread, start from the ground up. It was a good attempt, but you know, my dad's from Philly, so I kind of grew up as a little bit of a cheesesteak snob because I've had really good cheesesteaks growing up. This ain't it, Arby's, I'm sorry. So if you're watching and you want a cheesesteak, look elsewhere. Arby's, this time, you did not have the meats. Yeah, that's a no from me. Not good. All right, last sandwich. Now, if you guys listened in the beginning, I really wanted to try the venison elk burger. They didn't have it. So they were nice enough to give me the option of 2 sandwiches. So I got 2 of these smokehouse brisket sandwiches. These are not new items to the menu. I believe they've been on there for quite a while. However, I've never had one before. This is what it looks like, and this thing is loaded. Oh, this was about to fall off. Now you got pieces of brisket, barbecue sauce, some onion strings on a nice pillowy bun. You know, I really am actually a fan of the roast beef sandwiches, but this I've never had before. I really like the barbecue sauce. I like the brisket. The brisket looks really nicely cooked. You know, I've had brisket at some of the best barbecue places in the country. I've been to like Austin, Texas, had some amazing brisket. Now, I'm not going to compare that to what I'm about to eat here. I know for a fact, no matter how good Arby's can make it, it will not compare to the ones I had in Texas. But you do have to keep an open mind and realize it is a fast food place and they don't have a smoker in the back making brisket fresh every day. They get this shipped from a place that makes it in an outside facility. So now I'm going to judge how good the outside facility makes their brisket and how good the sandwich is. So I did add a little Arby's sauce to it because I am a big fan of Arby's sauce. I do like the Arby's sauce, especially on a beef and cheddar. Man, now I should have gone to beef and cheddar. But hopefully this is good. So first bite. Let's see how it is. Interesting. So I'll give Arby's some props here. The brisket is tender. I wouldn't say it's juicy. The difference here, it looks like the brisket is chopped really thin. Whereas if you've ever gone to a real barbecue place, the cuts are like much thicker, like maybe ½ an inch. This is probably like 1/8 of an inch if I had to guess just looking at it. So whenever you see videos of people like squeezing the brisket and all the juices come out, you're not gonna get that with this brisket. I will say though, when I took a bite, I thought it was gonna be really tough, where like you bite into the sandwich and like when you pull away, I thought all the meat would just come out because it's like gonna be super tough, but it was tender enough where it actually made a really nice bite mark. See? And as far as the flavor goes, It's not the worst. I mean, it's definitely got a nice smoky flavor. Like I'm assuming that they don't use an actual smoker because that'd be a lot of brisket to supply to the whole country. I'm assuming they use like an artificial smoke, which is like a concentrated drop, like the vanilla extract. They have smoke extract. So I just assume that they use that when making this brisket. I could be wrong, but when you're mass producing brisket for a whole country supply of your Arby's locations, they have to. I mean, there's no way. It's salty in a good way. It's not like overly salty. It's salted well, got a little peppery, smoky flavor, tender, but because it's not like juicy, fresh, whatever, it doesn't have that like that moistness. Like you don't feel that fattiness of a brisket, which could be good maybe if you're someone who doesn't like the fat, but you know, the sweetness of the barbecue cuts into the saltiness of the meat. Then you got these onion strings to give a little texture of the, a little crunchy texture. Overall, it's actually not a bad sandwich. I could see myself ordering this again, but over the cheddar beef, I don't know. I really like that beef and cheddar. This has to grow on me. This has to grow on me. But if you're in the mood for brisket, you want some cheese, and you want some barbecue sauce and onion strings, because there is cheddar cheese in this too, I forgot to mention. This isn't terrible. Like honestly, I'm actually shocked that you can get fast food brisket and it doesn't taste like you know, tires and stuff. It's actually surprising. So bravo to Arby's. Just keep in mind if you're gonna order this, keep your expectations super low, because this is not gonna be world-class amazing brisket, okay? It's gonna be mediocre. Maybe it's your first time ever making brisket. This is how it would turn out. So I'm gonna finish this up. But guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I'm sorry I didn't get to the venison elk burger, but if they bring it back someday, I might have to go and revisit that. So with that being said, I want to thank you guys for the recent support that you have shown me. I have got a lot of viewers and it's really cool. I love it. Like, you guys are inspiring me to make more of these videos. And please, write in the comments below if there's anything that you think I should try. Let me know. I will look for it in my area and I will try it. Because right now, I am an open book and I would love to try everything that you guys have to offer. Barbecue dab. I'll see you guys later. Bye.